Casanova. He lived 500 years ago, and he's famous purely for bedding a lot of beautiful women of the day. So I think the laws of attraction between men and women, it's fascinated people for generations, for centuries even. So, this is Salman Rushdie. He was famous, I don't know how, I'm from England, he's an English author, so obviously you guys have heard of him, I don't know how much you know about the story, but he was the one that wrote a novel, and the Ayatollah of Iran put the death threat on him, because he thought it was insulting Islam. So he was divorced, and he was in hiding, and then he started, when they started to kind of ease up on the death threats, he would go out a little bit to kind of private parties, and he met Padma. I had a huge crush on Padma. She was the Top Chef host. I don't know if you guys know her. She was also the first Indian supermodel. Absolutely beautiful, 20 years younger than him. He was right around actually the same age as her father. And they had a short, passionate marriage, and he wrote in his biography, he would describe it. He would say, my brain and my body were at war with her. She used to drive me crazy, but she was so attractive, I had to keep going back for more. And the way he described the relationship was hilarious. So, why do you see that so much? Why, look at, I don't want to talk about Trump too much because he comes up every week, but, he's also his second marriage. She was a former model. She's a lot younger than him. She was very attractive. Why was he attracted to her and not a more, successful older lady? Why was she attracted to him, not a younger man, more her age? So I think the laws of attraction it's a fascinating subject, and specifically for me too. I remember when I was young, I was painfully shy around women, painfully. And I could be in a group setting with the guys having a great time, and then it would just come up, you start talking to a girl you like, and this painful shyness came on. So I became fascinated with trying to understand, what do men look for in women, what do women look for in men? So the first thing to think about is, it's very popular among extreme liberals now to say, no, there's no difference between men and women. Well, there are actually some real biological differences between men and women. Firstly, men on average tend to be heavier, they tend to have more muscle, they tend to have thicker bone density. But then if you look at the prison population, for instance, why is it overwhelmingly more men than women in prison? Men tend to be more aggressive, women tend to be more compromising. So they have these both physical and intellectual and sociological differences between them. But the biggest difference between the man and the woman is that the woman, when she's pregnant, she's stuck, being pregnant for 9 months and carrying the baby. So from an evolutionary perspective, it's in the man's best interest to have the shotgun approach to dating and try to get as many women as he can. We're talking, back in the day, not today. And from a woman's perspective, it pays to be much more selective in who they're going to have father their child. So, when I was young and I was shy around women, I'm not the only one, there was a writer from Rolling Stone, and he was very successful, he lived in California, and he just couldn't get women. He wasn't the best looking guy, he was very shy around women, but it drove him crazy. So he went to the pickup artists, they're called, and you go there and they teach you, how to have this game. So he wrote a famous book, it became a bestseller, called The Game. And of course I'm talking about Neil Strauss, and he described, what he went through and how they helped him pick up women. So there was a few little tricks. So for instance, if I see a beautiful girl, I want her to feel, instead of me, she's used to all these guys fawning over her. So I'll take out a handkerchief and I'll say, you need to blow your nose, you got something on your nose. So immediately she feels insecure. So subconsciously she's thinking, this guy's got status, he's not intimidated by me. Things like that. Or if you see a woman who looks beautiful in a bar, you don't stare at her, talk to your buddies. Look at her again, she starts to get creeped out. No, you don't do that. You look at her, 3-second rule. You've seen her for 3 seconds, you're walking over there, you're already going to introduce yourself. That portrays that you have status and confidence again. There are all these little tricks you can do. But as he became, he did well, he picked up girls in bars and he was having a good time. But then he realized in order to have a relationship with a girl, with a quality girl, you need more than little tricks. You actually need substance. So what he began to do is he began to improve himself. He began to read and to educate himself. He went to the gym, he cleaned up his diet, he worked on his physical appearance. He just tried to make himself a better man. And I think what it comes down to with all of us, if you're single and you're trying to maximize your potential to meet the best man or woman for you, or even if you're married, if you're married, you can't just let yourself go and forget what got you that initial love, because you're gonna grow apart. So I think for all of you and myself, all of us in general, it's in our best interest to always put our best foot forward and be the most attractive person we can be. So that's what I'm leaving with you here today. Thank you very much.